Right, everyone, welcome to Life Group. Tonight we are going to be looking at what we looked at on Sunday. So Sunday we were in Acts 10 and Acts 11. Basically Acts 11, the first half of Acts 11 is just a retelling of what happened in Acts 10. So look down with me, we've got Acts 10 open and we're introduced to this guy Cornelius, who we saw was one of life's good guys. He was an outsider, he was a Gentile, he didn't belong to God's people, but he was known for all his work for the poor. He was known that, he was a leader in the army, so people didn't like him, but also they respected him because he seems to fear God. And seems like a good guy. And God comes and speaks to him, and then he sends some people off to go and get Peter. And whilst that's happening, whilst the people are coming to get Peter, Peter is sat on top of a roof praying, and he has this vision. He goes into a trance, and he sees a sheet coming down from heaven. And 3 times he has this vision where on the sheet is all sorts of unclean animals, things that he would never touch. And he turns to God, and God says to him, Peter, kill, eat. And he says, I never do anything like that, Lord. I've never touched anything unclean. And as this is going on, this happens 3 times, and then there's a knock at the door, and who should turn up but the people sent from Cornelius' house, a person seen as unclean. And they say, God has told us to come to you because we need to bring you back to Cornelius. Peter's pondering it all, he's thinking it all through, and he goes to Cornelius' house. It takes a day or 2, it's about 30 miles to get there, and when he gets there he kind of is welcomed and then explains the gospel, and these people become Christians. On Sunday we saw the 2 big applications from that was that as Christians, as people saved by the gospel, we need to realise that everybody needs the gospel. Not just kind of people who are struggling, but good people need the gospel as well. Cornelius is one of life's good guys. He's a nice guy. And sometimes we can forget about trying to reach out to people like that. And we also thought about how, and I guess the big point of this passage is that God doesn't show favouritism. That he welcomes all sorts of people, and so we shouldn't be calling people unclean. We shouldn't be treating some people as unclean. You might have already talked a little bit about how that feels when you're discriminated against, when you're made to feel like you don't belong. Well, the church should never be a place that does that. It shouldn't be a place where we feel like we don't belong. It shouldn't be a place where others are made to feel like they don't belong. So what you're going to do now is have a little look at some of the passage, and then you'll be able to have a chat about some of those big questions. I hope you find it really helpful, and maybe that there are 1 or 2 particular practical applications that you can work through, maybe even on Sunday, in how you welcome people. Thanks for joining us. I hope you have a great time tonight. Goodbye.